Thank you for joining me today, Eleanor. I'm really excited to conduct this interview. You really caught me at love knows no age. I truly agree in that. So I'm going to dive into the questions that I have today.
Okay.
Can you give us,
Thank you for having me.
you're welcome. Can you give us a brief overview of the story and the main characters in Aunt Cassie and the Rastaman?
Um, the main characters in the book is Cassie herself and her soon-to-be husband Solomon, and the overall story is of a middle-aged woman finding love, and she's raising her nephew, her brother's two kids, and it's just a delightful story about families coming together and finding love.
What inspired you to write a story about Aunt Cassie raising her niece and nephew?
Living in the Caribbean in St. Croix, I saw a lot of that. Um, a lot of people raising their family, children, and stuff for whatever reason, and this story just inspired me to write about it. That's all. Yeah.
And how does Aunt Cassie's perspective on marriage change throughout the book?
She was married before, and she was divorced. And as a counselor at a school, which was her occupation before she retired, she just never had a relationship after that. And then she saw Solomon, and then he pursued her. So she started her relationship with him.
And that sounds like an exciting ride. So just curious, what drew Aunt Cassie to the handsome Rastaman and how does their relationship develop?
Well, she met him actually in a vegetable market. She was shopping, and he approached her. And then at first she was skeptical. She didn't want to be bothered. And she went back and told her girlfriend about it. And but he pursued her nicely. He would see her at events and mostly at the vegetable market. And that's how he continued to pursue her. And then finally, at first, she had reservations about him because she wasn't into looking at a man that had these dreadlocks. She was more of a conservative type woman. And then she eventually evolved. She, fell in love with him.
Love takes time, right?
Yes.
Can you discuss the challenges Aunt Cassie faces as a single parent and how she overcomes them?
Um, she became, she took care of her niece and nephew. They were in high school, and she took them away from a bad situation that they were in with their parents. And like I said, she was a counselor at school. So, she brought a lot of her skills to helping the kids, especially with their education and stuff. And yeah, she just pursued it. And I think she became a good um, parent to the kids because they went off to college afterwards. Yeah.
And how does the cultural diversity of the Caribbean play a role in the story?
The Caribbean culture is um a little different being raised there. It's more family because it's small, it's a small community. It's more family orientated, more everybody looks out for everybody. So I think that played a lot into it. Um because if they were here in Virginia or wherever, the kids may have ended up in a foster home.
And what themes or messages do you hope readers will take away from Aunt Cassie and the Rastaman?
Um, I think that it's just we get so caught up in all the the killings and the crimes and stuff. And I think it's just sometimes as you age, everybody thinks that being young, love is just there, but you can find love as you get older.
And I think that's a good message because I know a lot of people that are at a certain age feel that they can't find love anymore. So it kind of gives this book kind of gives people hope that you can still find someone at any given age.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
And how did you approach the portrayal of the Rastaman character, and what research did you do to ensure ethnicity?
Um, in the Caribbean, there's a lot of the there's what they call the Rastafarian movement, and many of the people there are the Rastas. They are more agriculture. They grow their own veggies and stuff. They just wear their hair in these dreads, and it's a big community down in the island.
And can you share any memorable or significant scenes from the book that stand out to you?
I think in the book, what stands out most is how she finally um, hooked up with Solomon. And that's a part for the readers to find when they read it. But I thought that that was a memorable part of the book.
Well, that part alone stands out, so I'm not going to spoil it too much for people that are watching this. How does the setting of the Caribbean islands enhance the story and impact the characters' experiences?
Well, like I said, I think the Caribbean islands, I chose that because I went down there and I stayed there for a few months. And my parents are Caribbean, and I just thought that the laid back lifestyle to a certain degree um, just enhanced the story more.
And what role does family play in Aunt Cassie and the Rastaman? How does this shape the characters' decisions?
I think Aunt Cassie, she loves her brother, but her brother and his wife are not able and stable enough to look after their kids. And I think that Aunt Cassie, she grew up always looking out for her family. And so I think that, you know, by taking the initiative of going after these kids and so that they won't be, like I said, going into a foster care system or so, she stepped up to the plate and took care of them.
Can you discuss the importance of representation and diversity in your writing, particularly in relation to the Caribbean culture?
I like to write about diversity. I I come from a diverse background. My parents were Caribbean, but my um, relatives also came from Europe and stuff. So I like the diversity of it. I like the different cultures. I like to learn and see about different cultures. So that's why I think I want to write more about diversity.
How does Aunt Cassie's journey of self discovery and personal growth unfold throughout the book?
I think Cassie, she was a little judgmental at first with Solomon, but I think as she got to know him better, she realized, hey, sometimes you have to give a person a chance and not be so judgmental of them.
I agree on that part. Were there any unexpected twists or turns in the story that surprised you as an author?
um, I think when the reader reads it, they'll find the twists and turns, but I think that overall, the book they're going to enjoy just reading it.
I really love how it's suspenseful, like you're really making people eager to read it. And it's a really good book. Um, can you give us a sneak peek into any future projects or books you are currently working on?
I'm currently working on another book with three women who are middle aged, and they were friends from college times, and it's more like a girls trip type story. Um, so I'm working on that, and I'm thinking of doing maybe a sequel to Aunt Cassie and the Rastaman. I haven't. I'm thinking about
I love it. I love spin-offs. And Eleanor, as the
it.
author of Aunt Cassie and the Rastaman, a successful book, what advice would you give to aspiring writers who are interested in exploring themes of family, culture diversity, and personal growth in their own writing?
I think they should go for it. I think I went to France in May, and I stayed 3 months there. I had an opportunity to see how it is living in Europe. Um, I visited a lot of the villages and castles, and just enjoying the culture. And I think that if you really want to write and you want to bring in diversity into your writing, you have to really get into the cultures, and just, to me, traveling is the best. Reading too, but traveling and seeing it for yourself. Then when you come back to start writing, you can just zip into it and go and do your thing.
And I'm really excited for people to read this. It's great timing because it's getting colder. So, where can we purchase your book?
Right now, it's only on Amazon, um, and you can purchase it on Amazon.com.
And can you discuss your experience in collaborating with Bookmarc Alliance and describe how it has influenced your journey in the publishing industry?
This is my first time, and I'm looking forward to um, my book going out there, coming up in October for the book fest. And I think I'm just gonna love this. Is my first interview and everything, so I think I'm gonna love it.
Well, thank you so much for spending time with me today, Eleanor. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, and you too. You take care.